Hi Odooers and welcome to Odoo Hub by Clouder. Today we are going to showcase to you some of the unique workflows you can create in your organization. And today we are going to be looking at the procurement department, whereby we are going to be looking at a module called tenders and contracts. Remember, the procurement department is a very powerful department that decides where the money is going, who is being paid when it comes to the payments. Now, without much further ado, let me go straight to the purchase module, showcasing this powerful module created called tenders and contracts. So this is a module, of course, it doesn't come out of the box with the Odoo, but with the open nature or the open source nature of Odoo, we're able to customize that for you so that you'll be able to have control and create workflows that suit your business. So I'm going straight here to tenders and contracts, and I'm going to click register. So remember, that is a name we've given, but you can also choose your own name so that you can call it exactly as you like it. NGOs can call it different, private companies will call it different, government organizations will call it different. So let's go straight and utilize what you've created here. So now I'm going to click register. Now here I'm going to click new. So Odoo's official colors are purple, so it's very easy for you to know the next button you're clicking is most probably a purple one. So I'm going to create a new project here whereby we want to construct maybe a new swimming pool for our organization.
So new swimming pool.
So that is the name of the project or what we want to get on board in our organization. I'll try and save to show you some of the controls we've put. So if I click on save, the system automatically goes red in some fields, instructing me that I need to fill in something there. So for example, you need to have the expected timeline. When do you expect this to be closed? So let me put maybe November 30th. And then I try save. So immediately it will now save and it creates an internal number with a series you've created. But of course, again, that one we're able to customize it for you so that you have your own series. And then down here, you're going to see the name of the project owner. So you can easily pick any user in the system. So for now, I'll leave my name to be there. Then the requesting department, maybe this is maybe marketing. Maybe the marketing team meet swimming pool
So that they can unwind. Marketing department.
and then the origin model. So where does this originate from? So from where it originated from, you can decide. It's not mandatory. It's just a field we put. You can just put test there. Then the reference, maybe unwinding. You know, the reason why do we really need a swimming pool? So these are just add-ons you can put, but they are not mandatory. And then down here, you'll see timeline notes to be done before year end 2026. So we've said the expected timeline is 30th November, but you can as well say we have a wiggle room or a window whereby we can let it run through to end of the year, but not past there. So that's just a note, and then I'm going to save. Now, the next button you're seeing there is a purple one. I want to try click it. You see what happens. So I'm trying to approve the terms of reference. So remember, this will happen somewhere in a boardroom. There'll be a meeting, a discussion to agree. Yes, let's have a swimming pool constructed. Now, the team needs to come up with the terms of reference, the scope, so that they will share this with the vendor that will be selected or the potential vendor so that they can check so that they're able to do a quotation for you. So immediately I click that button, it stops me because I need to fill in some details. So I'm going to jump straight to TOR here, the need and the terms of reference there. And then down here, I need to attach some supporting document. So I need to create some documents so that I can attach here basically to support this project. So I'm going to click this to attach a document. I don't have a document with me, so let me just snip something here and then we use that as our document. So I'm just going to create a snip of this new. Assume this is our document here. Save it. Of course, you will have created this in nice documents with the blueprints of the structure and everything. So let me just attach that. For the sake of demo, let me attach that. So we're going to attach the documents there. Let me try prompt again that, and the system again stops me. So these are controls you can enhance. So I'm supposed to check that box. And then the deliverable documents. After this is the terms of reference. Now, what do we expect at the end? So maybe the final structures or some description of the project. So again, I'll check that, and I'm attaching the same document for demo purposes. And then now I can click approve the terms of reference. Please note that anything that is happening here is being logged on Odoo's powerful charter on the right side. So now, assuming I make a mistake and attach the wrong document, so we've created a rule that once you delete a document, it automatically logs that note here that you are the person who has deleted the document. It's important because you need to know who actually removed the document. So you can see here, deliverable documents removed. That's the name and the person who removed those, Julia. So that is an enhancement to ensure documents are not deleted. I'll click open, and that is done. So the next thing I'm going to do, as you can see, the next purple button there is confirming the budget. So this goes hand in hand with this budget down here. So down here, I'm going to select the budget holder, select myself, and then of course here I check that box and we try save. You see it's saving now. There's something called analytic accounting inside Odoo. So we need to track what costs are going to this analytic account called the swimming pool, or the analytic account called swimming pool in terms of it's a project. So basically you can come here and create the project. So I'll want to create this project from here. That is the name. Automatically it picks the name. You can also put the timeline here. I need this to be done between today and 30th November so that this will appear in our analytic accounts, and then I'm going to save. So this one will help you in tracking the project. How far is it in terms of the progress? So this is an add-on with Odoo. You can actually match the two or marry the two so that it's easy to track the same. So I'm going back to my consult here. So the next thing I'm going to do is check that box, click budget documents, and attach some sample documents for the budget. It will be the write-up, how much this will cost, basically how a budget will look like in the light of a swimming pool. I'll do that. And then here I'm going to put the amount. We want to spend 5 million on the project. This is an estimate. 5 million, or the three. And then here you discuss it as a department with the management, and we say no, let's start this for 4 million. But of course, there'll be a wiggle room in case the budget is surpassed. So I'm going to save that, and I'm now going to confirm my budget. Look, the analytic account is not sent. So that's a good thing because you can't skip that step until you put in the analytic account. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select my new swimming pool there as the analytic account, and I'm going to explain where it will be used. So I'm going to confirm the budget. So the budget is done. So before I move further, I'm going to go to my accounting module. On accounting, I'm going to select accounting and go to analytic budgets. So on analytic budget, I have a budget for 2026 here. I'm going to reset it to draft. Then I'm going to click add, and I'm selecting my swimming pool. It's falling under the marketing department. So let me just pick sales. And then here I'm going to put, you've agreed to spend 4 million. So the reason for doing this is that we want to ensure we do not surpass the budget when we are raising the purchase orders. We don't want to surpass the budget. So let me just quickly save that. So it's done. So we have 4 million budgeted for the swimming pool. I'm going to open my budget and leave it at that for now. As you can see, the budget is 4 million. Committed is nothing yet, and achieved is nothing yet, since we've not transacted. And I'm going back to my purchase module. For the purchase module, I go back to the register and I select my new swimming pool there. And I go to the next part, which is to start sourcing for vendors. So the sourcing for vendors, I'll come straight to creation of a purchase agreement. So here we've created several tabs whereby we can easily automate so that it links automatically to the procurement purchase module here, whereby we do the purchase templates or purchase agreement. So I'm going to click here, create an open purchase agreement. So automatically, again, it fills in the the product or the item we actually want to construct, which is a swimming pool. And then here you can see an agreement is created by default. I'm going to open that. Now, this is not a blanket order, rather it's a purchase agreement or a purchase template, because we don't know who will supply us with the service or the good. So we are going to float this to our vendors so that they can do their quotations. So I'm going to save this. Automatically, it creates for me PT015, which is a purchase template number 15. As you can see, it doesn't have a vendor yet because we do not know who will win this job. So now I'm going to confirm this, so that we can now invite RFQs or orders to be shared with us. Now, as you can see here, we have 0 RFQs shared or orders shared. Now, we are going to send this to our vendors. Then they are going to share with us the quotations as per what they think they should charge. So I'm going to create quotations. So I'm going to create 3 quotes as per the guideline. So I'll click new. The moment I click new, you can see it's surpassing our 4 million. Remember, we said we confirmed 4 million rather than 5 million. So as you can see, it's already surpassing 5 million. So once we receive the quotations from the vendors, we are going to put their name. So let me use vendor number 1 there. And then maybe they quoted 3 million. That. So let me remove tags for the purpose of demo. As you can see, the red banner has disappeared. And I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to create another one. So when I go back to my purchase template, you can see one quotation is already plugged in there. So I'm going to do a new one. And I'm going to select another vendor number 2. And this one sent a quote of 4 million. So you see there, 4 million. I'm going to remove the tags for the purpose of demo. And then I'm going to save that. As you can see also, as you create this, the analytic account automatically starts populating by default. So you don't have to put that manually. So that is done. And I'm going to do a last one, a new quotation. And then for this vendor number 3, I'm going to say they sent a quote of 7 million. They're quite expensive. Like that. So by default, this one remains because it's surpassing the budget. So I'm going to save. Now, these 3 quotes need to go through a process of vetting and checking who actually met our standards or the ask that we had. So I'm going to plug in here the 3 vendors, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Since these are the ones who actually shared the quotes with us. Then I click save, and then I'll click here to open the quotations. So as you can see, it's taking me back there. Now from here, now we will start to do the sourcing and selecting one of the vendors so that we can eventually confirm them. So I'm going to attach the documents they shared with us. Of course, they'll share quote and the drawings as per them and all that. Then I'm going to confirm that. And then after that, we are going to have this already created in the system. Now, the next bit we are going to do is evaluation. We're going to start doing the compliance first, and then we'll do the evaluation. So we start the compliance. So as you can see, when I try to click that, record vendor submissions before compliance view. So I'm going to go straight and check these buttons that I need to confirm here. So you have the evaluation here. And then we have the sourcing that is here also. So I'm going to add the vendors here. So we are choosing vendor number 1, vendor number 2, and vendor number 3. So here is where now we want to select, check, did they supply us with everything we asked? For example, the first one there is submission. They submitted. We already done the quote. So they submitted the quote with us, and of course with the documents. And the proposal, they'll have submitted that. Now, the next button you see there is statutory documents. So depending on the country, for example, in our country, Kenya, we'll be able to select the documents. For example, we need a tax compliance, we need a PIN certificate, certificate of incorporation. Those are some of the documents we need. So for example, I'll say all of them did supply the documents. So that is one. The next, you are going to the next tab here, technical requirements. Now, please note that there is a score here. You see everybody currently has 30 as a score. Now, we will create these scores depending on how you score your vendors. So it solely depends on your organization. So for this one, technical requirements, I'll say this one met, this one didn't meet, but this one met. You see this goes to 50, remains at 30, and this one goes to 50. So that is one. Then we go to something else. So this is just a list we created. Then the financial quote. So they all give us a quote. So I'll be able to select all. Then I go to the next tab, relevant experience. So again, we select this one as experience. The two don't have relevant experience, depending on the documents they are going to supply. Then the reference checks. This one has a reference. This one's had. This one didn't have. So it's just a random selection, of course, by the vetting department. So automatically, this one says this vendor is compliant because they meet all the expectations that we have, and they have 100% there. Then you go to the financial amount and check how much they quote as by the quote they've shared. So we will say here the financial amount they shared, 4 million. 4 million like that. Then the technical points there. If there are any that you need to put, we can do something like maybe 10, 5, 5, like that. Commercial points, you can do a 10, maybe a 10. These are just add-ons that you can add after the vetting process is done. So that's it. So as you can see, our vendor number one is the one who is qualifying to supply us with the service or the good. So after that is done, now you are going to click that button. Then the evaluation. So this is the evaluation here. We've done that. And then let me try and approve the selection. So by default, vendor number one is selected as the one that will supply the good. So the moment you click that, the name is plugged in there as vendor number one has been selected, and the contract value is 4 million. So it's a quite a simple process to follow once it's set up right. Now I want to try and click the next button, mark as contracted. So by default, the system will stop you because there are some things you need to do. So I'm going to go to the due diligence button there, and it shows you what you need to check. Due diligence done, statutory documents are verified, the reference has been called or emailed, the bank details have been confirmed, conflict declaration received, authorized signatories confirmed. And then, of course, I'm going to attach the due diligence supporting documents. So that is done. Now I'll click mark as contracted. Stops you again. Confirm that the contract is signed before marking as contracted. So these are some of the controls you'll put in the system so that users do not skip steps. So this is a very good way of marking that. So I'm going to go to the contract, and I'll say the contract is signed. When was it signed? Today, 15th of August 2026. And then I check that, and again, there's a contract that will be signed. I'll select that and I click open it. And then let me try mark as contracted. Yes, mark as contracted. And then now I'm going to confirm we are at PO stage. There it is. The linked purchase order must be confirmed. So we had 3 quotes. Then we had a PO now created in our system. But this PO that is plugged in here, we need to check if it has actually been confirmed by the relevant people. As you can see, it was actually 3.5, but I can change that to the 4 million that we had. And then I'm going to request for approval from the relevant approver. It goes green because we've not surpassed our budget. If it has surpassed the budget, then it goes red, and I can demonstrate that if this vendor, if the person plugging in the number puts something like 7 million, try to save that. It is a small amount, 7 million. Sorry for that. 7 million. So you see it goes red because it's surpassing the budget. Immediately you stop and find out where have you made a mistake. So you come here and edit and put the correct amount. And that, then it goes green. So now you're going to request for approval from the relevant approvers. Just click there, request for approval, it goes green, then you proceed and request for approval. That goes to the relevant person to approve, which is me, because I'm the same person here. Then I approve the LPO and we confirm the order. Please note that in Odoo, you can even customize your buttons if you want them in blue or red or your favorite color, so that you know the next step, we can be able to do that for you. So confirm the order. Then that is done. So the next thing, while we are here, I go back here, and then I confirm we are on the PO stage. So remember, the PO has been confirmed. Now the assignment needs to start. So I can click start assignment, since we've signed a contract, and then now we need to pay our vendor some deposit because they need some money to start the job, or depending on the terms. So the next thing I'm going to do is come here and add the vendor. Sorry, I'm just going to do this as a payment because the vendor is already selected here. And then how much do you want to pay them? 50%, for example. By default, the system will calculate for you 2% because you've automated that. It will check the value of the contract and do the 50% for you, and then leave it at that. Then they need to share with us a bill so that we can pay them. Now they'll share a bill, of course, we'll communicate. And remember, with Odoo, you can actually come here, send a message to the vendor and tell them, kindly share your, so let me put my email there. Please share bill or invoice. Please share your 50% invoice. So you don't have to go to an email, compose an email. No, you do it straight from Odoo, and then you click send. They'll automatically receive an email, and from there you're going to get an invoice from them and proceed to the finance department to create the bill. So let me do that. I'll go to accounting. I go to vendors, bills. I click new, and my vendor number 1 there. And then I'll come here and add the reference 50% deposit. Then I come here and put the amount. So 2 million, like that. And then let me try confirm. You see again, we have these buttons. We've said that you must put the ITIMS number if you're in Kenya, or if you're in another country, you need to put a bill number. Depending on the invoice they share with you, you need to plug in the bill number. So let me just do maybe KRA, may just put some random numbers there. And then the date is today. Then I confirm. Another stop. Any bill above 50,000 we've set, it must go through an approval step. So these are enhancements you can do inside Odoo. So I'll request for approval from the relevant person, and then I'll close and wait for the approval. So I, being the same person, I'm going to approve the bill, and then I'm going to confirm. Stops you again, the analytic distribution. So here we need to plug in the analytic distribution so that we are sure that we are tracking this in the right way. So let me just pick sales, and I confirm that. So the reason for that is because you want, when you come to an accounting analytic budgets, when you open it, when you go to the new swimming pool, you can actually see the budget is 4 million and committed is 2 million. So this is a control that comes, is roped in from the procurement to the accounting, so that you see how much are you left to utilize. So if I click on the audit, I'll see how much I've spent so far. The budget is what has been spent and or committed. You can have committed but not spent, then that's the achievement. So That is done on the finance part, but now we need to pay them. So I'm going to open my vendor bill here. I'll click pay and I'll select the bank that has some money so that you can pay them. And I'll click there, create payment, and it goes to in payment until you reconcile the bank. So that's another control. So I go back to the procurement module. I go to tenders, register. My swimming pool is there. I go to payment there. So as you can see, I'll come here now and select the bill. It's here and there. It's in payment until you reconcile. So that part will continue. Now the vendor will do the job, construct the swimming pool, do the documentation. The projects team or the department in the company that follows up will be able to go to the project and update how the project is progressing. So eventually the job will be done. Now the next purple button you're seeing there is final acceptance. So let me try click on it. It stops you again. Confirm receipt of final deliverables. So we need to confirm the job has actually been completed. So I'm going to go here to the acceptance. I check, yes, the job is completed. We've reviewed it. There's a completion certificate, and you can also attach all those. You can add those buttons. Then I'll click that and attach the acceptance documents. Let me use our original document that you're using to test. So I'll try again, confirm that. So that is done. Now the job is completed and we need to receive the final bill from the vendor so that we're able to close the project there. So we are going to share a bill again. So I'll go to the finance module. I'm going to vendor bills, click new, vendor 1, and the label 50% final pay. Of course, you're going to select that one and the department and the amount. So the balance we have is 2 million. Of course, we have things like withholding amounts. We can do that. But for now, I'll just proceed. Again, we need to write our ITIMS or KRA number or the bill number, depending on the country jurisdiction. So I'll confirm that. Again, it's a passes. I request for approval. Then I close as a finance officer. Then I wait for approval from the boss, approve the bill. Then, of course, confirm the bill. From there, you're going to pay them there with that bank and create payment. Goes to in payment until you reconcile. So that's a whole topic we have done earlier in accounting. So that's bill number 28. I go back to the purchase module. I go to my tenders and contracts. I open that. I scroll all the way to contracts and payments. I add it here. Can describe 50% final. Then here we do 50% and that is done. Then you select bill number 28. It's right there. I check that box and that one and that one and that one. Job satisfaction confirmed and the work has been completed. And I save. And that's how you're going to manage your contracts and tenders inside Odoo. If you feel there's a flow you want added or removed, feel free to reach out and you can see the project is now closed. And now what next? I go to the reporting module under accounting. I go to accounting, analytic budget. I open that. My swimming pool, 4 million. We spent committed 4 million already and we've achieved 4 million. I can click on that. And of course, I'll see the breakdown. Of course, it is so linear, but basically you might have a longer list of what has been done in terms of the project. So that's how you're going to see that. And on the reporting again, you can go to the profit and loss, which was an expense item. You can actually come here and filter the swimming pool to see how much was spent in terms of his swimming pool. You can see goes right there inside the P&L. If it's a P&L item, if it's a balance sheet item, again, it will go to the balance sheet. So that's the beauty about Odoo. It's all interconnected. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one.